Like a recurrent toothache, we've encountered Harris and his cloth pals many times. His lolly stick jokes, his slipped onto a potato when getting out of the shower and it went right up face when Orville's talking. But I'm afraid it's time to go deeper. Let's be honest, this is a career which entirely coasted on the marketability of a puppet. And there's a sense when watching that had he not hit upon such a cute design for an incontinent duck, spawning endless cuddly toys and money boxes, Keith would have been eliminated from the first round of new faces and never heard from again. Yet he did have Orville, and a solid decade of television appearances, plus a hit single which sold 400,000 copies. In forgotten Harris lore, there was even a cartoon, as weird as it was cheap, where Cuddles and Orville spoke in gibberish baby noises. His big starring vehicle, BBC One's The Keith Harris Show, went out primetime Saturday evenings for 20 episodes between 82 and 86. Most of us know him solely for the duck and monkey, so you're immediately struck by the variety of puppets.
Oh, hello, I'm Pongo.
The jokes, though, still classic Harris.
The post office are making a film about second-class mail. Yes, it's called From Here to Eternity.
Oh dear.
Keith's opening routine in particular feels like, instead of a video essay, it should be part of prosecution evidence at The Hague.
I managed to find a space eventually. I parked between two cars and one of them belonged to that outrageous pop star Prince. Yes, I knew it was his because, you see, it had 4 mudguards and 1 great big bodyguard.
Don't make the mistake of analysing his punchlines to see if they make sense.
Anyway, about this new car that I've got. This new car is absolutely wonderful. It's one of those talking cars. It is. When I bought it, you don't get a handbook. They give you a dictionary.
Someone's going to come in these comments and call me a moaning millennial. Tell me this is great comedy before the woke Stasi took over. You're out there, ain't ya? Typing in your little box. They don't make brilliant telly like this anymore.
One good thing about it is you don't pay any bills, because if you see the postman coming, you can drive away.
Some of these characters make you wish for Cuddles pelting about the place, and wonder if Keith had a drugs phase like the Beatles. This looks like one of Vic Reeves's creations.
His name is Clint. Clint! Clint, introduce yourself. Duh, duh, duh. All right, my son, all right, don't go mad. Come on, come on.
It's another show, like Roland Rat the series, notable for the incongruity of host and musical guests. Joining Keith through these episodes are Hazel Dean, Jim Diamond, Bucks Fizz, Nick Haywood, flautist Berdine Stenberg, and Strawberry Switchblade. The latter were probably drawn in by Keith's absolutely textbook 80s sketch show Punk.
Yeah, but I mean, look at your head. Oh, blimey. I mean, who's heard of a punk skunk anyway?
God, blimey. Here comes a real punk. Bob the Casual King. On telly later. Shall I pick out a nice pair of slacks? No, just boxer shorts will be fine.
Everybody! The fans are gonna shout and they're gonna fall about when the boys go. Yeah! It'll be a new sensation and it's gonna rock the nation when the boys go. Yeah!
This was definitely adopted by school bullies, gobbing on someone and going,
Yeah!
Mr. Jeff Stevenson.
Imagine being a comic and having to follow Keith.
We've got the Arthur Scargill cocktail. 2 of those, you get a spot on your nose and you want to pick it. The Dolly Parton cocktail. You can have as many of these as you like, because you know you'll never fall flat on your face.
That's Dolly Parton's tits.
And the award for weirdest audience cheer by a child goes to...
Today in the studio, the makeup girl stopped me. She said, Jeff, stop it.
Young Brian Connolly's here.
Hey, Joe, I'd like to sing for you now a beautiful song entitled Charlie Chan, You're a Different Man Since You Walked Into an Electric Fan.
After Keith and his hair and puns, the energy level of this handsome tyke has women in the audience eating out of his hand.
Every time I spun around there, baby, she seemed to grow just a little bit more.
The most disturbing puppets are a damning indictment of Keith's range, as they've both got Orville's voice.
Same old thing every day, same old thing, yeah. Off the pot, powder your butt, and then into your cot.
Never a political comedian. Weirdly, he saves all the biting satire for these horrible babies.
When Mrs. Thatcher meets Mr. Kinnock, I bet she says, "Hello, Neil." Yeah, Neil. Beg, grovel, crawl. Ha! Bubbles. My dad says they're like Mrs. Thatcher's cabinet. I saw on the news last night that Michael Heseltine was making a stand on defence. You know that Ken Livingstone? He's no good. He'd be no good at football, he wouldn't.
Wish we'd gotten to see more of this worm, though. Ah, the old talking dick routine. Nice little dance to his own theme.
Sylvester Stallone?
I have to give a man his due. We might have stumbled on an actual good joke here.
The best film I ever saw was one of those 3D films, especially when they first came out. I remember the first time I ever went, I put the little glasses on, you know, the red one and the green one, like Elton John. You walk in, like, and I saw the young lady. I said, "Excuse me, darling." I said, "But can you please tell me where this seat is?" She said, "Don't ask me, I'm in the film."
Maybe I've been too hard on him.
I had tea with a camel the other day.
Oh, one hump or two?
No, he didn't take sugar.
Never mind.
Keith,
Yes?
will you change something for me?
Change something for you? What, your life?
No, me not tea.
You know...
I said, never mind. Honestly though, the wording on this is atrocious.
Did you see that programme last night on the telly where these two doubtful characters get rid of loads of dodgy material? Oh, only fools and horses? No, the Cannon and Ball show.
He's attempting your classic "Have I got news for you" switcheroo. On my left, the team of Paddy McGuinness and Peter Sutcliffe, a man from the north of England whose depravity and vile action struck fear into an entire nation, and his teammate tonight, Peter Sutcliffe. But who's hearing this and thinking of only fools and horses?
Where these two doubtful characters get rid of loads of dodgy material.
It's Schnorbits and Bernie.
Well, and what about a drink for Schnorbits? Could you have a bucket of beer, please?
A bucket of beer? What sort of beer do you get in a bucket then?
Pale ale. Cheers.
Cheers, but no, hang on.
The set and big band for Series 3 is very intensely 80s light entertainment.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Keith Harris and Orville.
Thank you!
Ah, right back in Grandma's living room.
Say hello, Orville.
Hello, Orville.
When he starts saying this next bit, it sounds like the setup to a joke.
In the audience tonight, there's a young couple, and they are celebrating, right, 35 years of married life. And they're in the audience, so give them a great big round of applause. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. and Mrs. Woodruff up there. There. You see? We had a little letter about that, and that's rather special.
All the talk of marriage leads us down a weird path.
But you love me, don't you?
Yeah, but of course I love you. Of course I do.
Why won't you marry me then?
No, you see, we could never be married because we are two completely different sorts of animals.
That's the only thing stopping you? Aren't you like his adopted father, changing his nappy and thinking, "Oh, if only it were legal, I'd make this duck my wife"? Later in the series, they seem to confirm that Keith's not his dad.
I haven't got another your daddy.
Oh, no, you don't.
So I guess they're just flatmates. The whole bit's leading to this punchline, which reaches like no punchline has ever reached before.
But Orville, you know, Tunde, I do love you, of course, and everybody loves you, but we could never, ever be married because, I mean, we could never be joined together in holy matrimony, could we, eh?
I wouldn't like that anyway.
Like what?
Being stuck together with sellotape and sleeping in a holy mattress.
Dear God, Keith.
Hey, a riddle. What's green and got 6 legs? Orville tied to a snooker table. I ate that duck.
What a look on these guys. Bickering magicians, the Simmons brothers.
Now, as I was saying, the first part of this...
Biggest number of the series adds to the many on-screen adaptations of Oliver Twist.
Can I have some more?
More bamboo? No, you can't have any more.
There's big performances, and then there's whatever Keith is doing here.
But you just said you did. If I've told you once, I've told you 1,000 times. You're not having any more.
Oliver Tweet does give us one thing scarier than Oliver Reed's Bill Sykes. Bipedal cuddles.
Come with me, Oliver. Come with me. Come on.
Keith clearly treating this as an opportunity to show what he can really do. West End, here I come. And because they can't afford the proper songs, we get Keith's sound-alikes instead.
You see, my name is Fagin, and cheating is my game. I rob and steal and thieve and lie, that is my claim to fame.
He thought so highly of his Oliver, it was included on a self-published best-of DVD, sold off the merch table at live shows. A DVD edited by Robin off the Grumbleweeds, with linking segments filmed in Keith's spare bedroom, where his own name was spelled wrong on the credits. Twice.
Oliver, it's nice for you to be with our gang in London. We're thieving, but we're free. Oliver's coming with me.
For a show that went out 20 to 8 of a Saturday evening, it's weird Keith didn't really tailor his act for an older audience. Whether on Crackerjack or sandwiched between Blake's 7 and Pop Quiz, you got the same saccharine routine and dishwater gags.
Cloak.
What?
What is a cloak?
It's a sound made by a Chinese frog.
Surely then, he'll be at his best in the arena of children's television.
But right now, we're going to have a quick chit-chat.
Yeah!
You'd think. Keith and Orville's Quack Chat show ran for 35 episodes on CBBC between 89 and 91, with mercifully few available today.
Menu!
I ate that duck!
With pizza! Yes, let's go! Wait, what's that? Keith and Orville's Quack Chat show!
When Cuddles gets gunged in the intro, his long tie creates an unfortunate image. Put it away, John Holmes.
Is everybody happy? Yeah!
10 on 10 sideways baseball cap on this kid. No notes, proper British b-boy. It's part variety, part game show, a la Funhouse or Run the Risk, between teams from a pair of schools.
Yeah, we have the Henry Mell School. Quack! And the Weatherhead School. Quack!
Most of the games are just nicked from fairgrounds, like fishing rubber ducks out of a disgusting pond that looks like Savills bathwater. One week it seems like there's been a murder in it.
The loser, because the loser ends up in the yucky, mucky duck pond. Yeah!
There's another one where they throw coconuts.
Fantastic! Fantastic!
And for the big finale...
It's very simple game, it's great. Now, the winner will receive a wonderful Orville Oscar. There it is, yeah!
Almost threw my back out in the rush to search eBay. Sadly, no luck.
And the loser will get something that's really yucky, yeah!
2 Orville Oscars. Nobody's ever been so invested in a sport as Keith during Egg on a Spoon.
Yes! And he's coming up! And he's going to lift it right on the top there!
But the real treat of these is those classic Harris interactions with contestants.
And this is Graham. Here's Graham. How are you, Graham?
All right.
And of course, your name?
Moona.
Moona. Is that a full Moona or a new Moona? I see. What's your hobbies?
Swimming.
Swimming?
Oh, teach the duck to swim.
What?
Throwing in the pond.
Don't talk shite!
He asks one kid their favourite comedian.
Duncan Orville.
Duncan Norville? Duncan Norville, he's the one that goes, chase me, isn't he?
Don't be so silly.
All right then, all right then.
Of course, it's old telly. You have to expect a bit of racism.
Chris, look at that. Hey, I say he's gone rusty, hasn't he? Hey, have you been in there?
Remember I said it was variety.
The old yo-yo. Come on then. Whoa!
Here's 2 girls with a song they wrote themselves.
Yeah, what about a great big cheer for Charlotte and Laura Robbins singing Harmony?
This world of trouble and strife, there's so much anger and tears, but if we sing this song, we'll share our fears.
Production really leaned into the theme, the duality of black and white working together.
And you wrote that song yourself, yeah?
Yes.
It's almost a shame Keith's in the show, as all the bits without him are television gold.
A few years ago, the singing group Brotherhood of Man had a hit with Save Your Kisses for Me. Here's another of their best-known recordings featuring our drummer, Paul Clark, in Oh Boy.
He strikes me as a rather nervous performer, often spoonerising his own script.
The show all about today is this. As you can see, they're all parts of body monsters.
He means parts of monsters' bodies. Sometimes he fills with panicked waffle.
Here, you know, I've not seen you round lately, because you ain't been around lately, have you?
My old car, you know, the one I had before this new one, because I've got a new one now, but the old car, well...
Other times, he fucks it entirely.
This isn't my case.
What does it mean?
Is this some sort of practical joke? It's not my case.
Well, it's not my case. Well, it isn't my place. I mean...
Mind you, they say if they don't keep the payments up, the set's got to go back.
I didn't know you'd been wearing glasses. I didn't know you wore glasses.
I always swore I'd never become one of those listicle channels. But just this once, it's Keith Harris's top 5 most absolutely stinking jokes.
Get out of here when before I call a cop.
In at 5.
Got any other hobbies?
Well, I like horses.
How did she get a horse on ice?
At 4, a rancid take on an old format.
I'm going to take a book to read. A book? It's all about Scotland.
Yes.
It's called Keeping Dry in the Highlands by R. Mackintosh.
Number 3, and the 2 Ronnies, more like the one.
You know, my next guest has just been telling me that he takes out his optician's daughter. He says 2 glasses and she makes a spectacle of herself.
He's just saying things now. At number 2.
I passed one the other day. Outside I had a sign that said, Gremlins, Ghostbusters, Doom. Sound like a firm of solicitors.
No, they didn't. And taking this week's top spot.
Do you know Mrs. Thatcher? She's been playing cards with her furniture. Well, what makes you say that? Well, she's been reshuffling her cabinet. Get out of here when I call a cop.
After I tell someone a lady complimented me on my looks.
I made that up. I know you made it up.
There are ways of signifying which sort of child you were, and which type of adult you grew into. Were you Disney or Looney Tunes? WizKid or Chipite? Were you Emu or were you Orville? Orville is the sickly side of the coin to Emu's anarchy, but aside from savaging celebrities, Emu's pink windmill was glorious. Bits of Quack Chat feel like Keith trying to borrow some of that pink windmill magic, in particular song and dance numbers with his child performers. Brown windmill more like. Grown-up Orville kids hide in the toilet when the postman knocks, while us Emu children can do between 3 to 5 chin-ups. In-house kid dancers are the Mersey mob.
Hello, Denise. Hello, Denise. How's the nephew?
This is Stiff.
Stiff? Why do they call him Stiff?
Best not to ask. If I had this next thing done to me, I'd be walking straight into the sea.
And this is Paul.
Hello, Paul. How you doing? I say.
You're done, mate. No coming back from that. Not even with absolutely putrid musical numbers.
Double trouble! Double trouble! Double trouble! There's always been a twosome, one handsome and one gruesome, one big, one small, one fat, one thin. Double trouble! Boy, it's bad!
What are we singing about this week, Keith?
Orville, you're driving me round the bend.
I know.
You're driving me round the bend. You're driving me round the bend. You keep on asking the same old questions again and again and again.
Some of the most nonsensical lyrics ever put to paper in this.
You can't have a circular square and an oblong hole's up there.
Why does the roller skate roll? Why does the goldfish live in a bowl?
You're driving me round the bend. 2, 3, 4. You're driving me round the bend. 2, 3, 4.
Another week's theme is the very broad, round things. You know, footballs, wheels, Ross Kemp.
What else is round? What else is round?
Double bank.
Double bank?
That's round.
That's round, isn't it? What else?
The world.
The world, quite right.
Yeah. A toilet seat.
Yeah.
A toilet seat.
Well, he's right, yeah.
If David Frost was busy, Harris was next in line to interview Nixon.
Are there always 3 trombones in a big band?
Yeah.
Are there? Great. That's right. What on earth is that? Have you seen that? What's that?
It's a mute.
A mute? I thought it was a hat. Hello.
80s kids absolutely loved jokes about admin work.
What about my mate over here on the drums? This is young Paul Clark, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, Clark. Not behind a desk, behind the drums, eh? Tell me.
A flying visit to Scotland has a very Russ Abbott take on our northern friends.
See you, Jimmy. Okay.
Yes, all right, Orville.
Come on, ye Sassenach Sahar. Okay, you is gonna. Hey.
Watch out, he's going to give you a Glasgow smile with his beak.
Here, who's that?
It's a rhinestone cowboy.
Excuse me, do you know Stuart Anderson?
I know him very well.
Well, do you know where he is?
Yes, I do. Where's he gone?
Stuart Anderson, such a briefly ubiquitous presence. I'd planned to someday do a mini video about him. Won't have to bother now. In the 80s, casually watching Pebble Mill or a Royal Variety, one was always under threat of 1989's BBC Young Entertainer of the Year jigging from the wings in his kilt, for the sort of performance mums wheel out kids to do at Nana's birthday. Surely this is just the Scots pranking us thick English to see if we'd go along with it. Sold as authentic Scottish entertainment, but basically a tin of shortbread on legs.
And what sort of other things you like doing?
I'm learning the accordion just now, like my dad does.
Wee Stuart seems to have vanished without a trace, most likely mortified about his past.
A fine wee lass, a bonny wee lass, a bonny wee dinner corn. I gave her my mother's engagement ring and a bonny wee dance song.
When Gen Z asks what we used to watch, what we had to watch, before Netflix and YouTube, well, it's this. A perfectly normal, acceptable thing to be blaring out of British living rooms. In the final series, Keith lives in a castle, but not everyone's enjoying his gags about dragons.
And one said to the other, he's going fast.
And what do the other one say?
Tell the Jill if your bottle on fire. It's a good.
Men, what's stopping you from dressing like this? Losing teams are herded into Keith's dungeon to receive the most pathetic amount of gunge ever shown on television. Barely a thimbleful. Have to say, Cuddles as a torturer is pretty on point. Though I'd rather be starved in a gibbet like that skeleton than watch the non-puppet Cuddles wave his arms about. Stop, please! I'll tell you anything! Is that worse than when Keith just holds him up by the head, all limp and hanging like an empty suit? No innards, no bones. Not till he starts running about.
Seems to me that history just keeps repeating chemistry.
That makes those heroes what they want to be.
But Keith can't stop being weird, even in his sign-off.
So until next week, don't forget to chat up a duck
And cuddle a monkey.
Cuddle him up.
Cuddle a monkey.
Why is the door locked? You better not be cuddling your monkey in there. Anyway, bye.
No, not Mr. Men, Mr. Ben.
Great. Well, listen, carry on dancing. We're going to see you a little bit later. All right.